Guys, can you hear me now? I think. Um, I think it should be audible now. There's some issue with directly doing this. I would figure it out from next time. Sorry for the inconvenience. Anyways, hello everyone. Thank you for joining in. This is the first time I'm doing a live session with a lot of other folks, and I see everyone on mute. If possible, can you please unmute and switch on the video camera? It would be very awkward to talking to tiles. Sorry, I was just saying, so it would be very awkward for me to talk with tiles. It would be good if you can unmute and maybe come on the camera. If not camera, at least unmute so that we can have a discussion. The whole point of this live stream is to have a discussion with everyone. In the English, this may be comfortable. That is fine with me. It's not like YouTube video that I'm seeing, so that's why. यार सबके सब ऐसे मूर्ति बन के मत बैठे रहो. Come on, say something. Today, weird. Else I can start taking the questions. This question said, okay, I can start with that. Prin is someone I've talked with. Anonymous Yogi, I talked with in this IWCon conference. Sudeep also, I think I've heard of someone. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, तो फिर unmute करो वीडियो पे आओ या तो unmute करो बोलो chat क्या कर रहे हो. Anyways. Yeah, anyone can join. Anyone can join. It would be a short while. Let me just send the link. Yeah. So yeah. Like we would wrap it up by 10. So like won't be extending it longer. Already, I thought of doing it like for half an hour, but because I already started very late, so that's why I feel it's not good on my part. People have come with some questions and all. Yeah, people are already joining in, so let's just wait for a few more minutes. So if anyone wants to talk about something, नहीं तो मैं questions से शुरू करता हूँ, and then we can wrap it up और भी जल्दी. Anyway, quick questions, anything? Oh, hi, Prin. Prin, is that right? वैसे pronounce करते हैं, right? बोल लो, यही बोल लो. हाँ. ये फ्लटर का like I have seen 2 or 3 reports. एक है उनका in Visio Labs, I think. Let me just search for that. In Visio Labs or something. उनके बहुत अच्छे intercepting traffic from Flutter applications. So this is the one. So ये काफी डिटेल था एंड लाइक ये Android 7 है उसके बाद का उसके पहले का बहुत सारी चीजें जैसे ARM प्रोसेसर्स एंड उस पे भी अपडेट. ये काफी डिटेल काफी अच्छा एंड इट वर्क्स मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. मतलब अभी तक तो मुझे कोई इशू ऐसा इतना नहीं आया एंड वो पूरा बहुत डिटेल डिस्क्रिप्शन किया क्यों एंड बाकी कितने भी जो फ्लटर एप्लीकेशन के रिपोर्ट या ऐसे इनका प्रॉक्सी कैसे मतलब प्रॉक्सी के थ्रू कैसे पास कराते हैं सब जो भी है सब काइंड ऑफ इन्हीं के रिसर्च पे बेस्ड है क्योंकि बाकी सारे जो भी देखोगे वो सारे इसके बाद के. So ये एक अच्छा ब्लॉग है, काफी अच्छा ब्लॉग है इनफैक्ट. इफ यू रीड एंड अगर इफ यू डू इट मैनुअली एज वेल तो और भी मजा आएगा करने में. मैं लिंक यहाँ डाल देता हूँ. ये चैट खत्म हो जाएगा तो इफ समवन इज कॉपिंग और पोस्टिंग तो क्या मैं यहाँ पे इसमें डाल देता हूँ. यहाँ कमेंट नहीं कर सकते क्या? मैं वहां से लाइव स्ट्रीम में डाल देता कि नेक्स्ट टाइम कोई चैट वीडियो देख रहा हो तो उसको भी मिल जाए. ये वो फ्लटर का भी बाकी तो सारी चीजें ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही, इतना कोई डिफरेंट नहीं होता. फ्लटर में एक चीज और है 1 सेकंड एक है Flutter CTF debug app था क्या था My- उसमें एक फाइल होती है, अगर debug एप्लीकेशन मोड में हो तो पूरा पूरा कोड मिल जाता है. हाँ, ये kernel blob.bin. Wait, so that means we have bytecode just like Java JPK. Even better, in debug mode, you can find the source code itself with comments. All of the app code is at kernel blob.bin. तो कभी अगर गलती से कोई अपने APK debug mode में publish कर दिया हो Flutter के, तो इस particular APK assets के अंदर, जैसे React Native के जो apps होते हैं उसमें भी assets के अंदर एक index.android.bundle फाइल होती है. सेम ऐसे Flutter ऐप के अंदर assets के अंदर Flutter assets के अंदर एक फाइल होती है. अगर if you go and इसको देखोगे तो you would like have the whole code itself. तो ये कोई मोसार्ट 2019 CTF था, उसमें लग किए थे, बट बहुत रेयर मिलेगा बिकॉज डीबग मोड में नहीं करता. बट ये हो सकता है कि कोई पुराना उनका APK हो जो डीबग मोड में पब्लिश हो गया, या फिर लेट्स से मान लो अगर बहुत केसेस में ऐसा होता है कि वो अपने S3 बकेट से ही सीधे सीधे लिंक देते हैं. जैसे लेट्स से ड्रीम11 ये जो एप्लीकेशन प्ले स्टोर पे नहीं है, वो अपनी वेबसाइट पे होस्ट करते हैं. तो उनमें क्या होता है कि जैसे लेट्स से अगर ऐप है, लेट्स से बेटिंग ऐप डॉट APK करके, तो मे बी बेटिंग ऐप डॉट डीबग डॉट APK उसी के वहीं पे होस्टेड हो सकता है. मतलब हाईली एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल वो है कि मिल जाए, बट इट्स चांसेस कि अगर डीबग APK मिल गया तो वो पूरा सोर्स कोड मिल जाएगा, व्हिच वुड बी इजियर टू लाइक आइडेंटिफाई बग्स इनटू. सो ये वाला भी मैं डाल देता हूँ इससे. यहाँ पर या तो अगर इतने लोग यहाँ पे आए हो, किसी को कुछ पूछना भी नहीं था, किसी को कुछ बात भी नहीं करनी, तो फिर आए ही क्यों थे यहाँ पे. लोकल सर्वर से हो रहा है, बट के वेबसाइट पे होस्ट करके कर रहे तो नहीं हो रहा है. लोकल से भी क्यों चल रहा है, फिर तो लोकल से तो नहीं चलना चाहिए उसको. लो, लोकल से कुछ अलाउ किया, ऐसा कुछ है क्या, कुछ ऐसा अलाउड है या समथिंग लाइक दैट. थर्ड पार्टी वेबसाइट से नहीं चल रहा है. अच्छा, तो मुझे वैसे मतलब DM कर देने को, क्या है स्क्रीनशॉट लेके, क्या उसमें एरर है, क्या इशू आ रहा है, मैं भी तब देख सकता हूँ. बिकॉज पता नहीं, ऐसा तो होना नहीं चाहिए मतलब. या मैं अभी सोच नहीं पा रहा हूँ, कुछ ऐसा हो सकता है. बट हाँ, मतलब मुझे एक बार भेज देना ये पर्टिकुलर क्या चीज़ नहीं आ रही. आचार्य, अभिषेक आचार्य इज माय जूनियर. ये यहाँ चैट में है, तुम गूगल मीट में ही आ जाते हैं आचार्य. एनीवेज, सो ये मेरे कॉलेज के जूनियर है. So we used to be in the same CTF team, the CTF खेलते हैं, so that's why. Yep. तो let's एक सेकंड, सॉरी एवरीवन, लाइक आई जस्ट वांट कि एक बार आप इंट्रोड्यूस कर दो अपने आप को, so that it would be easier for me to understand as well. Moonfrog Labs. Oh, hi. Yeah, nice. Long time no see. It's good actually. Good for you. Yeah, you were asking something, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just opening that. There's this company called Criminal. One second. One second. I'm just Criminal or something. It's that. One second. I have it somewhere. There's this. Boundary by having. So you want like simple secure remote accesses, right? But you don't want this VPN and complicated thing, something like that. Mhm. So like, uh, yeah. Continue. Uh-huh. Yeah. I know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Matlab, so the like the use case is that you want to give access to developers to these machines, right? Is that the use case? And whatever is the limit, but what are the different things that you want to do? Like, let's say, do you also want to keep Google के groups या some there are some restrictions के basis पे access their machines पे? Is that something also you want to configure in that? Yeah, and okay, because what I like recently we're looking around. So what happens is usually companies में क्या होता है, people they give VPN and VPN के through सारा access दे देते हैं, right? But that is not something that we would want, because let's say आप sales team वाले को आप VPN का access दे रहे हैं because कोई dashboard है जो internally accessible है. But let's say he might have left the laptop because they have to travel a lot. So maybe let's say this laptop has been left open, yeah, or whatever be the use case. But there are chances that if that laptop gets compromised, वो VPN के through और भी चीज access हो सकती है. Want कि ideal case would be कि उसको सिर्फ dashboard मिले, बाकी का access नहीं मिले. I'm just looking at, there was this tool, अरे यार क्या नाम था उसका? I'm just one second. Uh, One second. I'm just I just had it written down somewhere. That's another, but again, then that would be an issue कि सब पूरा access फिर देना पड़ रहा होगा आपको. One second, return. Yeah, just adding it back. So there's this. Yeah, so there's this website Pritinal. Yeah, ये weird है because I'm sharing the screen यहाँ पे and then I'm not sharing it यहाँ पे. Anyways, so what, there's this website Pritinal.com. So what they give is that they also give access on the basis of जो आपका वो है user level permission. So this was used by one of our team members. Like I am currently at Rippling. So यहाँ पे एक बंदा था where he was in a serious organization. So they use this, and इसका open source, like I think open source client भी था, and then they also have this client, and उस पे वो लोग access level permission on the basis of Google groups देते थे. So इसका Pritinal Zero करके एक है ये वाला, this is open source thing of Pritinal Zero. एंड आई थिंक ये वो बंदा मुझे बता रहा था कि $50 पर मंथ और समथिंग बहुत चीप था. सो दे हैड इट सेट अप इंटरनली फॉर देयर ओन यूज केस एंड देन दे वर ट्राइंग टू उसको स्केल करने के लिए फॉर एवरीवन. सो एज सच एक्सेस है वेब एप्लीकेशन का भी अगर आपका एक्सेस देना है on the basis of Google groups आप कर सकते हो. So I thought, because I've also not used this personally, but I thought that that is one of the best thing that could happen, because आप AWS IAM policies ये सब तो कर सकते हो जो devs हैं उनके लिए. बट यू कैन डू इट फॉर लाइक सेल्स पर्सन या किसी और को जो उसमें है ही नहीं, AWS पे ही नहीं है, बट आपको मान लो वेब एप्लीकेशन का एक्सेस देना है उनको. So how would you do that? So उस केस में I thought that this is one of the like best thing that could happen, that you can use. Mhm. Sorry, I didn't. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So I think I got it wrong. I think I got it wrong. Yeah. Did you expect something different answer? Like I didn't get it. Okay. So I would just add. 1 second. I'll just add these links in the chat as well so that. Yeah, I think there's some issue with audio on. मतलब ये Google Meet का audio वहाँ share नहीं हो रहा है, but yeah, next time मैं resolve करूँगा. Anyone who is already seeing this there you can just join it here. A link already मैं दे चुका हूँ. Let me just थोड़े देर के लिए तो मैं यहाँ डाल देता हूँ. Link मैं इस पे डाल दे रहा हूँ. So if anyone is joining यहीं पे join कर लो. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Cool. Okay, fine. Yeah. Anyone else was someone else was asking something, I guess. Okay. Yes, yeah. No, yeah. You can start with an introduction. That would be good. NPCI वो भीम वाला, right? Oh, nice, cool, good thing going on. Yeah. Oh, so they are working on blockchain or something. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, cool. Okay, trying out on new technologies and then making products out of that. Is that okay? Yep. Yeah. Continue. Yep. So you are a software developer for how many years? Like, what's the experience? Okay, so you have like decent software development experience, right? And what are the primary languages that you work with? Okay, cool. I just wanted to get the idea of it. So, I mean, that's not a very difficult thing to switch and all. Please don't make anonymous entries. So yeah. Anyways, so I was saying there you can start with CTFs. Like even I've talked about these previously as well. Like for a person who is in the software development field, if they want to switch to a like security field, it would be a bit easier because they already have developed the field, developed the software that they want to break. So they would already know some of the things that ethical hacker or a security person would otherwise have to study and learn. Okay, these are the intricacies of the bug, these are the intricacies of the application. This is how it is made, and this is where the expert could be. So that is one benefit that you already have there. Regarding because first security need to be very specific about things. Like let's say if you want to break a Node.js application, maybe there apart from being some generic thing about web applications, there would be some things that would be very specific to Node.js applications, or let's say Python applications. So things like that. That is something that would depend on application to application. But for the basic of security, something I would say is start with CTF. Like there's this CTF called Eco CTF. I think it's something that I would have suggested everyone. And then there's this over the wire. These are two things. If you are already on the call, please check the YouTube video. There, the screen is being shared. You can see it there. So over the wire. What? Yeah, I have a few like on my live sessions. I've talked about this. I don't have it written here, but if you see my previous live streams, I've talked about this. I think they start with CTFs. Once you get the hang of what are different things, learn about Linux. So that is why I've given this over the wire website. So there you can practice about Linux commands, shell scripting, SSH, and all those kinds of things. Although I assume that you already would be knowing a bit about it because you're in the software development field for 2 years. So yeah, those two things you need to start with. Then I would say read this website, thehackernews.com. You would find a lot of news there and try to interpret what it is. If you get stuck about some of the terms, Google it. these are things that is just to increase the awareness about cybersecurity field or different things that there, because it's not that you can just go about web application security. I assume that you would want to know about other fields as well, about the different security things, like there's a cryptography, there's a ransomware. You might want to know about those things as well. So I'm giving a generic idea, not just about a web application pen tester or bug bounty hunter. So that's why I'm just so once you're done with these CTS and parallelly you're reading news and trying to understand these news articles, the hacker news and other kinds of things. Once you're able to grasp like 80-90% of these news articles, you would be at least aware of all the terms that's there in the security field. That is very commonly used. So once that is done, you have like you have created a vocabulary that you're able to easily understand it. You can then start moving out toward like, these hacker ones and bug bounty websites where let's say there's this particular web application. Let's say you want to go into web application security because that is my forte, so that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So let's say you want to go into web application security. So you might want to uh, go to Port Sugar Labs. There's this Port Sugar Labs. So this is a very good lab for web security. Similarly, there are labs for other like reverse engineering. There's this exploit exercises. Then there's I think there are hardware labs also, but that would be hard to work on because you need to get actual hardware. But for web application security, this is one of the very good labs. So you can get the concepts of every web application thing, and even like they have articles also, so it's easy to understand. Like this lab contains has conjunction, then they have this article, so you can easily understand this, and then you can start working on this, like the different like bug classes that are there under the SK injection and those kinds of things. So that is the gradual flow that I think you should take. It would be easier to help. And I'm saying that you should start with CTS because CTS, like they create the, like what do you say, you need to struggle or some बहुत मेहनत, you need to struggle a lot, बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हो, like you are sitting for long hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, so that builds the patience that is required for working in security field for long. Otherwise at one point, once you like the bug you're bored with bug bounties and all, you might not be interested in solving security problems that require going into the depth of the actual issues, like at why this is happening, and then researching onto those things, because insecurity won't be getting solutions very easily. There would be a lot of chances that, like one of the chances, let's say you have a website and that is being scraped by your competitors. So how would you try to protect your website so that it's not getting scraped from your competitors, or how would you try to like circumvent it? So these are some of the hard problems that's not easily solvable. So yeah, that is how, I mean, that is how you should start. You start with CTFs and news and then move on to, if you, yeah, thank you. I think that answers your question. Just okay. Yep. Yep. That's okay. Yeah. 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 I mean, see, certification would, I mean, that can help, but that's not at all required for a lot of startups. That won't be required. Even in big companies, if you are going for a consultant role, certification would matter a lot. Otherwise, that should not matter much. And moreover, you already have DevOps experience, so it would be very easy for you to switch into security field. That shouldn't be a hard thing for you. So yeah, I mean, these CTFs and just getting an idea of how web applications or applications in general work, how you can break those, that would be very easy for you. So yeah, I mean, I've seen people who have been like, even in my previous company, there was this guy who had this developer experience for I think 1 year, and then he straight away switched into security. So yeah, because as a security engineer in a company, you not only have to just do pen testing or things like that. things. You also have to build things and software that could help you in automation and stuff. So if you have some development experience, that would just add on top of the cherry of the whole ISIC. So it would be good for you if you already have those experience, and if you have DevOps experience also, that would help. Yeah. Okay. So just a quick what is it notice, like we'll be wrapping it up in 15-20 minutes, like by 10-15 max. So I won't be taking it long. I'm just taking some questions from the chat. Portugal labs are cool. Okay. Yeah. Imran Sheikh is how to take a cybersecurity internship for a fresher or beginner. So internships. So one of the internships that I know is this Gurugram Gurugram Police. They offer the cybersecurity internships. Moreover, a lot of these startups, let's say Cred, Blinkit, all those kinds of things. These, I think, they offer internships. I don't know whether it's specifically to cybersecurity or not, but for DevOps and some other roles, they definitely are. And once you are there, you can talk to them and try to internally switch in those teams. So yeah, that is something you would help. There's this urban company, and like there are a lot of startups you already know. So you can try for internships into those. They have freshers and you just need to have some basic idea. Web3 security, like how to get it. Hey Rishabh, I am still struggling. Like I have to start with Web3 security. So I have a few resources I can share it. Maybe sometime I would share it on Twitter. I've been collecting about resources for Web3 security. Here asks, sir, I have learned CSRS, SRF, and XSS, clear all the concepts, but how to apply this knowledge in bug crowds program? So if you have already cleared the concept, I mean, you would be able to apply the knowledge on bug crowds program. So the issue could be that you might want to find CSRF on all the websites, but there could be pages where there is no CSRF, there are no forms already. So, or let's say if you are trying for SSRF or XSS, so there might be no inputs, and or let's say for SSRF, so there could be that the URLs or things that you're trying to send into the application that's not being processed at all. So that doesn't mean you're not applying the knowledge, you're already applying it, just that you're not getting a point where those can be exploited. So don't think that you're not able to apply it already. And moreover, you can practice these on labs at least. If the concepts are clear, you would be able to exploit those labs. How to get a job in Big Four from Tier 3 college. Big Four also Big Four. So if you don't know what Big Four is the Big Four firms: PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, and Ernst and Young. I think I got that. So yeah. So I know a friend of mine who is from Triple IT Una. He got a job for data forensics investigation, DFI, data forensics and incident response. Yeah, he got it in. I think he's in PwC. Yeah, he's in PwC. He's in DFI. He's a DFIR person, data forensics and incident response, and he's working there for I think the past 6 months or 8 months. Yeah, something like that. So he was a dual degree. He got a MTech also in this cyber forensics. So usually these big four they hire if you have a relevant certification or if you have a relevant degree. Like just bug bounty and those might be difficult for getting hired into these companies. Any approach for getting a security engineer job? Sudeep is asking that. So I mean, I see is Abhishek Acharya is already here, yeah. So even he can also get how to get a job in security asking for it. So yeah, I mean these guys are junior. They also got a security engineer job. They are like 1 year into this field. So Abhishek, you want to say something on how you got a job or how you approach for a security engineer job? Do you want to talk about the pay scale or any particular difficulty that you had while getting a job? Like how many companies you applied and anything like that? because a lot of people have this skeptical thing that maybe security engineers are being paid less or something. I've heard that pen testers, they are paid less in some of the companies, but whenever I've seen the security engineer role, either they are paid slightly higher than the software developer, or it's the same thing. It's never less. I've never seen that it's a less thing. So yeah, that's one thing. And yeah, this yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was saying something. Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I've seen people are paying. Usually, people are paid high in security roles, so that money shouldn't be an issue usually. It's just that what Acharya mentioned, that they're looking for higher roles. It's because a lot of these companies, they don't have any person in security, and so they are at least wanting that there should be a higher senior person, and then only they would be hiring for a like mid-level or junior level role. So that's why it's usually the case that they're looking for senior roles. Mhm. Yep, yep, yep. That happens. There, yeah, there are a lot of funny stories about these hiring and interviews. So yeah, that happens. If you're good at it, they would pay you crazy. So yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. Advice for teenagers who are going from school life to college and are bored with school studies. School life to college. Okay. Oh. So see, I had very clear funda है कि college जाके पढ़ाई नहीं करनी. I am done with it. I wanted to do hacking for a very long time, but I never got my hands on a laptop. या फिर whatever your passion could be, कि let's say कुछ लोगों को होता है कि मस्ती करना बस बहुत पढ़ाई कर लिया. So there are all those kinds of people in college. So I would say, but try to invest time on your passion, whatever you want, because college का time नहीं मिलता है. If you have solid चीज जो भी करना चाह रहे हो कॉलेज में कर लेते हो उसके बाद फिर टाइम नहीं मिलता है. फिर स्ट्रगल होते रहते हो. So yeah, that is the one advice that I would say. मस्ती करते रहो, but don't get bored with this college की पढ़ाई से. That is something I totally support with. I'm a student. Oh, Sudeep is a student and a part-time bug hunter. Okay, there are no more questions into the chat. I got a few questions on this my form I floated yesterday. So, what is there's a question, what is the security engineering interview process like? So, security engineering interview process is it's usually 3 or 4 stages. So, the first stage is usually one second. I'm just typing. Yeah. So usually the first is I'm removing the exploratory round, which is usually the HR. So apart from that, the first round is a technical round, which would be from the same person with whom you would be working in the team. Usually it happens that case. The second round is from a senior person. They might be asking you more like, so usually there are two kinds of things. Like I am applying for a senior role. So in the first round, they would ask me about this application security and then product security and those kinds of things. In the second round, they would ask me for design, like whether I've created some product, like some automation and those kinds of things. So they would ask me about design, high level design, system level design, those kinds of things. Maybe they might also ask about databases and operating systems. In some cases, they have asked me, but not usually. It depends on the company profile as well. In the third round, it's usually the main, like the CISO or the who is the main person in security. They talk to you. It's moreover not very technical, but it's something technical and some of your what do you say analytical skill based. Like they would ask you some questions like situation based questions, like what would you do in this particular scenario, or like how have you faced any situation where you would have to work with um, like it's more of a cultural fit and how you are as a person. That is something they would want to know. So that is how it is. In when I was like applying for fresher roles, when I was applying for Grofers, so there the first round was I had to find a bug in Grofers itself. So that would equate to in other companies that uh, they would analyze your technical skills. So they might give you a challenge. Like if you, I think I applied for Cred or something recently, I think a year or 2 years back. So at that time, they gave me this application security and they had their own CTF that I had to solve. And a lot of companies have their own CTFs and quizzes that you have to solve. So that is usually the first round. The second round is an interview with a security engineer in the same team. So they would ask you for further questions, and then yeah, the usual 3-4 rounds. And the last round is usually the HR round and those kinds of things. Yeah, there's one question. Whomsoever is saying, please just wait for a while. There are 4 questions, so I'll just take 3 more questions from this form, and then I'll come back to this Google Meet. So there's this question. I'll be completing my 12th in next 1-2 months. I had 3 questions as I will opt for BCA or CSE for my further studies. So I had a question if whether I should also focus on development skills because I have plenty of time, nearly 3-4 years, and is there anything I can do in this 3 years so that I can stand out of the crowd? So that's a very good thing that you're planning very early, and I would definitely say focus on your development skills because only then you would be able to make some of the tools or other kinds of things. So yeah, focus on your development skills. Try to learn a few languages, let's say JavaScript, Python, those kinds of things, because usually the applications that you would be trying to break would be either in Python or JavaScript, and nowadays Golang as well. So yeah, try to learn a few languages. Make one of your language as a very strong point, a very strong forte. That's kind of it. Then yeah, read as much as you can because you have 4 years, so you can already plan for things. Let's say first 1-2 years for CTFs and all, then some other thing, maybe bug bounties and such, and yeah, those kinds of. So plan it out like that. Spread the whatever you want to do. Write all those things and then spread it across 2-3 years or 4 years. Because usually third year and toward the third year, end, you would be starting looking out for. You would start looking out for jobs. So yeah, you would only have 3 years at max. Then there's question how a resume should be created. Okay, okay. Which one? How a resume should be created? Is that the one? Oh, 12th one. Okay, Manigesh. Okay, you're already here. Okay. So yeah, the next question is how a resume should be created if I have good bug bounty experience but no certificates. Many times it gets rejected, even though sometimes I feel I have the knowledge required for that particular portion, just because I don't have certs or professional experience. So, see, if you see my resume, I don't have any certification. Even bug bounties, it's not much bug bounties, and there's the CTS and all it. So, it's not much that whether you have certifications or not. It would also be like what kind of companies you're looking for. Like I already mentioned, if you're applying for a like consultancy job in Big Four and those kinds of things, then you definitely need to have, let's say, do a MTech degree or so let's say you have certification over SIC and those kinds of things. Because you are a resource that they would be giving to the other companies. So or they would be showing that we have these person who have cybersecurity or forensics degree, MTech in cyber forensics and those are the people that would be doing your consultancy work. So that is why they need to show you that you have this particular these kinds of resources who have these particular certifications. But if you're going for a product-based company, uh, let's say Blinkit ho gaya, Zomato ho gaya, these kinds of things, they won't matter whether you have this certification or not. If you're able to prove yourself and if you have some development skills also in your resume, because all these companies they would also require you to create some things on like some automation or those kinds of things. So that is why you need to have some development skill on your resume as well. So that would increase your chances for getting it shortlisted. Then there's this last question that I would be again going back to the chat. Why course is not there in Android? So course is basically cross-origin resource sharing. Let me just put it up here. So let's just read what courses. So courses, course and resource sharing is a bro. So I'm just trying to explain it through why, like how you would understand why course is not there in Android and why it could have been there. So cross-origin resource sharing is a browser mechanism which enables control access to resources located outside of given domain. The very first thing is it's a browser mechanism. So like if you're just in browser mechanism doesn't mean that okay mobile app don't have browsers so that means they don't require course or anything like that. So browser mechanism basically means that if the browser is trying to access resources, so in this case it could be that the mobile application is using the API to fetch some resources. So even then the cross origin resource sharing headers would be there. It extends and adds flexibility to a same origin policy. However, it also provides potential for cross-domain attacks. If a website's course policy is poorly configured and implemented, course is not a protection against cross-origin attacks such as CSRF. Let's see one. Yeah, there's this vulnerabilities section. So let's see one of the vulnerabilities. Some applications need to provide access to a number of other domains. Maintaining a list of allowed domains requires ongoing effort. And I'm assuming that you have some idea, of course. That's why I'm just skipping through it. And my any mistakes risk breaking functionality. So some applications take the easy route of effectively allowing access from any other domain. So, for example, one way to do this is by reading the origin header from request and including a response header stating that the requesting origin is allowed. For example, consider an application that receives the following request. There's this sensitive victim data. Post is this. They have added a header, maliciouswebsite.com. It then responds with these are the two particular header that is very interesting to us. Access control allow origin, access control allow credentials. If this is true, what would happen is the browser, once you like go to this particular website again, maliciouswebsite.com, the browser would send the cookies for this particular vulnerable website.com as well. Like it would have those cookies sent to this malicious website also. So let's see what happens in Android app. In Android app, there is no browser. It usually interacts with APIs. There's one thing that you can't be able to set this origin header into the in the Android application itself. So that is one thing that avoids this access control, this course thing. Moreover, let's say even if you're able to do that, even if this is added, it won't be very useful because in maximum case, or rather in every case that I've seen, is that Android applications, because they are interacting with the API, they usually have a header, let's say bearer token or API keys or something like that. So this particular thing just adds the cookie header into it. So it won't add those specific headers, those special headers that would give you access to the APIs. So that is why it's very unlikely to have course into that. If there's a web view or something like that, you might want to look into it. Otherwise, there's no point looking for course into these applications. Then they have also mentioned that what would happen later on and all that. So yeah, that's why if you just read through it and you try to correlate why this happens in the browser, why this doesn't happen in an Android application, you would easily understand why. You can easily like rationalize as to how that would happen. Let's come back to this. Imran Sheikh, you're sharing some screen. Okay. Why is it hard in? So I'm coming back to this chat again. I'm going to take science destructive program. All the best for you. Security analyst and security engineer. So they usually it's the company's name. Somewhere they mention security analyst. Some places they mention security engineer. It's usually that. But yeah, you would have to read the JD, the job description, as to what the role says and what you have to do. All the best for that. Right. Okay. Nikhil Jain, how to know whether company is hiring for a fresher role in security? You would have to look for the company page. You would have to talk to people. You would have to talk to people who are there. You would talk to HF there. They would have some pages or some job openings, something like that. Yeah, anonymous figure has already mentioned. Sabya Sachi Sahu, why is it hard in cybersecurity? I mean, it's hard in everywhere. Cybersecurity, it's specifically more hard because, like, in a company where, let's say, you have 100 developers, there would be like 2 or 3% into cybersecurity, security engineers. So that's why. I mean, it's hard to get good people as well, and moreover, like 3 or 4 people would be able to, not effectively, but they would be able to do some basic management of security. There's not much spending on security, like they won't have like 50 people in cybersecurity. It's not usually required. It all depends on skills. What like recommend. Sabyasachi, so like I see many BTech guys start learning DSA and trying to get a FANG company, like what we do, so that we do we that way. Do we can prepare for FANG to get a job in cyber field? The FANG companies don't usually hire freshers. I've not seen any fresher jobs for cybersecurity in FANG companies. It's very unlikely because see some like Surya was you already mentioned he's also a 3 years experience guy in DevOps. He already mentioned that for security they usually hire with on the basis of trust. You cannot give security to any random person whom you feel like, and moreover because it's a very sensitive issue, so everyone either hire from circle, like from referral thing, or they know people, or that person has a good reputation online. They have some credible issue. So credible, what do you say, resume, a credible, whatever online profile, online presence. That's why they usually hire that. A fresher is unlikely to have those, but yeah. That's why I would say start with maybe a small startup or small company, and where you are getting to learn much and try to build something there, and then try to move to Fang or any other kind of companies. I don't know. Okay, thank you. This is good. ctfchan.com. This is a new website. I didn't know about this. Read YT comments too. Okay. Okay. Sir, I've learned this. Okay, this is already taken. Going to Maja is a need to learn Java for Android testing. How to get job in security? Asking for it. Yes, sir. CompTIA A plus is a good to start with. How many marks do you have in 10th? Psycho Joker 666 has talked about a few things. CompTIA A plus, I don't have any idea about that certification. I've seen those, but I don't have any idea. Is Govind Kumar Jha, is there any need to learn Java for Android pen testing? No, but if you know some Android development, that is a bit different from just learning Java, then you would be able to like do it better. So that's why. Just like a simple tutorial of buttons have something. अजीत गेमिंग कैसे हो सर जी ऑल गुड सब बढ़िया है चंगा सी anyways it's already 10:06 if anyone has any questions I would just drop as good night support. Oh hi Mahesh yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah I get it I get it. Mahesh can you just introduce yourself? I assume you are working at some organization somewhere. Ah no that's fine that's fine. Oh acha echo. Hmm. 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 Yeah yeah. That would be hard. So, do you know about SPF, DKIM, soft fail, hard fail? Have you read about those things? So, have you tried implementing it at your organization? Any of those? If you no, so if you have a lot of spam coming, then probably your SPF DKIM is not properly set because otherwise it should not be the case. But phishing totally cannot be like it's just not a technical problem, it's more of a human problem as well. So what even in Gojek and in Rippling as well, what we have been doing is we have been sending phishing mails ourselves, like there's team there people who are doing that, and then just making people more aware and just giving a stats like these many people clicked on these links, these many people clicked on these links. Then on Slack, yeah. So in Gojek, we used to have it every week. Every week we used to have that. So it's not because like a lot of people are joining, and every week we have that. And then eventually, what happened was people they once anyone sees that okay, this is a particular spam mail or things like that, they straight away took screenshots of that and put it in the general channel of Slack or in some other channel asking is someone because that increases awareness to a lot of people very fast. Not everyone would be available or checking on emails, but everyone is there on Slack. So they quickly check the mail on and they avoid clicking on those links. So that is something that I've seen very effective. Yeah. Because it's not technically, it's not a totally technical problem. It's that people are also clicking on those links, so you need to work on people more instead of just having a technical. But what you mentioned, that you're getting a lot of emails, so that is something that probably your SPF DKIM is not properly set. But that should not be the case, that you're getting a lot of spam emails. Yeah. For phishing mail, social engineering, just trying to fish people yourselves before the actual attackers are trying to fish you. Did you get that? There are a few solutions as well, like fish alarm and other kinds of things. So yeah. Yep. Sorry, I mean that's a very generic thing, but that is what we have seen that is working around. None of those technical workarounds are working, but these are things that have worked. Yep. Cool. If someone has anything else, I think I would just drop off. Good night, everyone. This was a bit messed up session initially. I didn't had how to properly set this up, but yeah, I will try to set this up properly next time. So yeah, thank you. It was a good session. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend ahead.